What is avoidant attachment style? You feel most like yourself when you're on your own. Your independence isn't just a preference. It feels like the core of who you are. It's your greatest strength, the engine that powers your success and self-reliance. But you've also noticed a pattern, haven't you? A painful, recurring one. The closer someone gets, the more you feel an invisible wall go up. A suffocating pressure builds in your chest, and the person who once felt like a comfort now feels like a threat to your very sense of self. You tell yourself you just don't need anyone that much. You convince yourself that being alone is cleaner, safer, better. But what if that intense, compulsive need for independence isn't a strength at all? What if it's a brilliant survival strategy you created as a child to protect yourself from a world that felt unsafe or uncaring? Today, we're going to uncover the real reason behind your fierce need for independence and reveal why the very shield you built might be costing you the one thing you secretly, deeply crave: real, lasting connection. Does this sound familiar? You meet someone, and at first, it's exciting. The connection feels easy, but then it happens. They start to rely on you, expect things from you, want more of your time and your emotional world. And just like that, a switch flips. Suddenly, all you can see are their flaws. The way they chew, the sound of their voice, the questions they ask, everything becomes irritating. You feel trapped, suffocated, and have an overwhelming urge to run. When you finally create that distance, whether by picking a fight, going cold, or just ending things, there's a huge sense of relief. You can breathe again. You feel like yourself again. But then, after the relief fades, a quiet, aching loneliness sets in. You see happy couples and wonder, what's wrong with me? You want the intimacy you see in movies and in your friends' lives, but the moment it's within your grasp, you push it away. This is the exhausting push and pull of the dismissive avoidant attachment style. And if this is your reality, the first thing I want you to hear is this: it is not your fault. This pattern isn't a character flaw. It's not a sign that you're cold or broken. It's a smart, deeply ingrained protective mechanism, officially known as an avoidant attachment style. Think of it as a shield you built when you were very young to defend your heart against pain, neglect, or rejection. That fierce independence you value so much? It wasn't born from a desire to be alone. It was born from the necessity of having to be. You learned on a gut level that relying on others was unsafe or disappointing, and the only person you could truly count on was yourself. So, while the world might see a hyper-independent person who doesn't seem to need anyone, the truth is way more complex. Underneath that shield is a person who, like every human, has a deep need for love and connection, a need that's been suppressed for so long it's become almost silent. The real tragedy here is that the very shield you built for safety is now the wall that keeps you isolated. To really get why you do what you do, we have to go back to the beginning to see how this shield was forged. Our attachment styles are shaped in our first few years by our relationship with our caregivers. A child is born needing comfort, safety, and connection. When a baby cries, it's not being difficult, it's communicating a need for food, warmth, or just reassurance. Now, imagine a child whose caregivers are consistently emotionally unavailable. This doesn't make them bad people. They might have been struggling with their own trauma, immense stress, or even raised to believe that emotions are a weakness. Maybe they provided everything physically, food, shelter, clothes, but when the child was sad, scared, or needed comfort, the caregiver was distant, dismissive, or even annoyed. A child who cries and is told to toughen up or is left to cry it out learns a powerful, devastating lesson. My emotions are a burden. My need for comfort won't be met. Showing I need something just pushes people away. So, what does a child do? Their main goal is to stay close to their caregiver for survival. If expressing needs pushes the caregiver away, the child adapts. They learn to stop expressing those needs. They swallow their tears, their fears, their desire for a hug. They learn to self-soothe and become a good, quiet, undemanding child. In short, they become prematurely independent. While this often starts in childhood, it's also true that significant betrayals or trauma in adulthood can teach the same lessons, building these walls later in life. This adaptation is a brilliant survival strategy, but it gets hardwired into the nervous system. The child grows into an adult who carries these core beliefs. I can only rely on myself. Showing emotion is weak. Intimacy is a trap. It means losing my freedom. People who want to get close are needy and will eventually drain me. Think about it. When you're stressed, is your first instinct to call someone or to retreat and handle it alone? When a partner is emotional, do you feel an instinct to comfort them? Or do you feel a surge of discomfort, an urge to fix it logically, or just get away from the intensity? That discomfort is the echo of a childhood where emotions were treated as inconvenient or dangerous. That deep pull towards self-reliance isn't just a personality trait. It's a memory stored in your body from a time when being self-reliant was your only option. Understanding where the shield came from is the aha moment. But now we have to get real about the cost. This childhood strategy becomes a major liability in adult relationships. It protected you then, but it's imprisoning you now. Let's break down the 4 ways this shield is costing you the connection you secretly want. Number 1. It creates a wall, not a boundary. There's a huge difference between a healthy boundary and an emotional wall. A healthy boundary is like a fence with a gate. It says, "This is my space, and this is yours. I'm happy to open the gate and let you in, but I decide when." It's about communicating your needs with respect. For example, I love spending time with you, but I also need alone time to recharge. How about we plan to have Tuesday evenings to ourselves? An emotional wall, the favorite tool of the avoidant style, isn't a fence. It's a fortress. It's a solid, non-negotiable barrier with no gate, designed to keep everyone out. Instead of saying you need space, you just disappear. You stop answering texts, become cold and critical, or start a fight to justify pulling away. You don't know how to ask for space without feeling like you have to blow up the whole connection. When a partner starts to get close, your internal alarm system, which screams intimacy = loss of self, goes wild. They aren't trying to trap you, they're trying to love you. But your shield can't tell the difference, and it misinterprets their attempts at connection as an attack. Number 2, it silences your true needs and emotions. Because you learned as a child that your emotional needs were a problem, you became an expert at suppressing them. You might not even know what you truly feel or need much of the time. People might call you calm and logical, but in reality, you've mastered the art of disconnecting from your feelings. You live in your head, analyzing emotions instead of actually feeling them. This creates a brutal self-fulfilling prophecy. You believe you don't need anyone because you've never let yourself express a need and have it met. You never give a partner the chance to show up for you because you never ask. You handle every crisis alone, you soothe every fear by yourself, and you celebrate every victory quietly. Then, you look at your partner and think, see? They don't really get me. I'm on my own. But you're on your own because you've systematically taken down every bridge that could lead to support. This constant suppression is also exhausting. It takes a ton of energy to hold back your feelings 24/7, which can show up as chronic tension headaches, digestive issues, fatigue, or just a general sense of being numb. You can't pick which emotions to numb. When you numb the fear and sadness, you also numb the joy and connection. If any of this is hitting home and you're starting to see yourself in this, I want to offer you a simple next step. I've created a free attachment style quiz on my website. It can give you a bit more clarity on your own patterns, and just knowing your style is a powerful first step toward healing. The link is in the description below. It's a gentle way to start this journey. Number 3, it actively sabotages potential happiness. People with an avoidant style are masters of what psychologists call deactivating strategies. These are subconscious thoughts and behaviors you use to crush intimacy and keep your distance. Sound familiar? As soon as you start getting close to someone, you fixate on their flaws. You magnify small imperfections, the way they laugh, a typo in a text, until they feel like deal breakers. You might compare them to an idealized phantom ex or fantasize about how much better life would be if you were single. You might also prefer short-term flings because they offer a taste of connection without the threat of real intimacy. This isn't because you're a player or can't commit. It's because your subconscious is desperately trying to protect you from what it sees as the danger of a real, vulnerable connection. This sabotages relationships that have genuine potential. You might leave a wonderful partner because your fear of being trapped is stronger than your desire for love. Then the cycle kicks in, the initial relief of freedom, followed by a creeping regret and loneliness, which pushes you to seek connection again, only to repeat the whole pattern. It's a lonely carousel you can't seem to get off of. Number 4, it misinterprets your partner's love as a threat. This is especially true in the classic anxious-avoidant trap, one of the most common and painful relationship dynamics. Anxiously attached people fear abandonment, so they seek closeness to feel safe. Avoidantly attached people fear being smothered, so they need distance to feel safe. You can already see the problem. When the anxious partner says, "I miss you, let's hang out," they are trying to connect. But the avoidant brain hears, "I'm going to swallow you whole and take your freedom." So, you pull away. Your withdrawal triggers your partner's fear of abandonment, so they pursue you even more. Their pursuit triggers your fear of being smothered even more, so you pull away further. It's a vicious cycle where you're both unintentionally poking each other's deepest wounds. You might label your partner as needy or dramatic, but from their side, they're just reacting to the emotional desert you've created. It's like you're starving them of warmth and then getting annoyed when they say they're cold. Your shield doesn't just block threats, it blocks love. mislabeling it as dangerous. Hearing all of this can feel pretty heavy. But the goal here isn't to get rid of your attachment style, it's to heal it. Understanding this pattern is the first, most powerful step. The fact that you're still watching means you're ready for a change. This is not a life sentence, it's a pattern, and patterns can be rewritten. The goal isn't to shatter your shield. That shield was built for a reason, and that self-reliance is still a valuable asset. The goal is to install a hinge on it, to learn how to lower it on purpose in safe situations with safe people, to go from being a prisoner of your own defenses to being the master of them. So, where do you start? First, get curious, not critical. The default habit of the avoidant mind is to be dismissive of your own feelings and others. Your first step is to simply start noticing your patterns with gentle curiosity. When you feel that urge to pull away, just pause. Don't act on it. Just notice. What was the trigger? What does suffocated actually feel like in your body? Heart racing? Chest tight? By observing your reactions without judgment, you start to create space between you and the automatic pattern. Second, start small with vulnerability. You don't have to suddenly confess your deepest fears. That would be terrifying. Start small with low stakes. The next time someone asks how you are instead of the automatic fine, try something a tiny bit more honest. Actually, I'm a little stressed today. Or try asking for a tiny favor. Could you grab me a napkin? Each time you do this and the other person responds with simple kindness, you give your nervous system new data. See? It can be safe to rely on someone else. Third, start naming your emotions. Because you've spent a lifetime pushing feelings down, you might not even have the words for them. Find a feelings wheel online. When you feel that vague discomfort or irritation, look at the wheel. Is it anxiety? Is it frustration? Is it fear? Just putting a name to the emotion is a huge step. It takes it from being a scary, overwhelming bad feeling into something concrete you can actually handle. This is how you start building emotional intelligence. Your intense need for independence isn't a flaw. It's the echo of a child who had to learn to survive on their own. It was a brilliant strategy that kept you safe. But that strategy has expired. The cost of that shield, the loneliness, the sabotaged relationships, the feeling of being disconnected, is now way greater than its benefit. You can change this. By bringing awareness to your patterns, practicing tiny acts of vulnerability, and learning the language of your own emotions, you can start to teach your nervous system that connection is not a threat, but the very thing that will heal you. You can learn to lower your shield and let love in. The journey isn't easy, but it is so worth it. If this video was helpful, please click the like button and subscribe. We're building a community here dedicated to healing our attachment patterns together. For your next step, I highly recommend watching my video on the anxious-avoidant trap to understand that dynamic even better. Thanks for taking the time to understand yourself a little more today. You are worthy of deep, meaningful connection.